Hello everyone, this is Aparna Shetty, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, AG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So in the previous video lecture, we had seen about the introduction of swings. Okay, in this video, we will see how to create simple swing applications, and also we will be seeing how to create the different types of J components. Okay, so let us begin. So consider this simple swing application over here. As we have already seen the different types of swing packages, right? So we need, in order to create a graphical user interface by using swings, we need to import this package javax.swing.star package. We need to import in order to create a GUI using swings. Okay, so we need to import javax.swing.star. Next, we have declared a class hello world swing. Okay, within that class we have written the main method. Okay, the first statement here, jframe, frame is equal to new jframe hello world swing. Okay, so in this statement here we are going to create a new frame. Okay, we are going to create a new frame. Okay, and the label of that frame will be hello world swing. Okay, this is the label of that frame what we are creating, hello world swing. Okay, next what we are doing is we are just creating a label. Okay, we are creating a label, and the text displayed in that label will be hello world. Okay, and after that that label we have to add it to the frame. Okay, frame.add label will add the label that we have created to the frame. Okay, next frame.set default close operation. Okay, and passed parameters jframe.exit on close. So the default close operation for that frame you are going to set over here. Okay, and the default closing operation is exit on close. Exit means when you press that close button, no, that frame should disappear. Okay, and next we are setting the size of the frame, that is 245,100. It is the size of the frame. Okay, and frame dot set visible. Okay, the visibility of that frame is set to true. So this is how the output will look like. Okay, here we have created a new frame. Okay, the name of that frame is hello world swing. Okay, this is the frame. There is the minimize button, maximize button, and close button. Okay, next we are creating a label hello world, and that label is added onto this frame. Okay, if I press this close button, the frame should disappear, and the size of this frame is 245 and 100. Okay, and the visibility is set to true. So this was a simple example of how to create a swing application. Okay, let us see one more example of how to create a swing application. So import javax.swing.star. The class name is swing demo. Inside the swing demo constructor, I'm going to create a new frame. Okay, jframe. I'm going to create, the object is jframe here, and that frame will have this text, a simple swing application. So this is the label that is displayed on that jframe. The size of that frame is 245 by 100, and the set default close operation for that frame, I'm setting it as exit on close. jframe.exit on close will terminate the frame when it close button is pressed. Next I'm creating a new J label. Okay, and the text displayed on that label will be swing means powerful GUIs. Add this J label to the frame and set the visibility of the frame to true. Okay, so here we have created a simple swing. Okay, we have created a frame. Okay, we have set the size default close operation for that frame. We have created a new label, that is swing means powerful GUIs. We have added that label to the frame, and the frame visibility we have set to true. See the main method here. So inside the main method over here we have created swing utilities dot invoke later new runnable. Okay, within that new runnable we are calling the run method. Okay, and then we are creating a new swing demo object. Okay, swing demo is this constructor. So here you are creating a swing demo object. So what are we doing over here in the main method? Usually when the main method starts execution, okay, a main thread is created, right? So main method is executed on the main thread. To enable GUI, okay, on event handling dispatching thread, invoke later method is defined under the swing utilize. So in order to create a new GUI on an event dispatching thread, invoke later method is invoked under the swing utilities. We cannot run only with the main thread over here. In order to create a GUI, okay, we cannot run that GUI by using the main thread. Okay, so in order to run the GUI, we need to create an event dispatching thread. Okay, in order to create that event dispatching thread, we need to invoke this invoke later method. We need to use this invoke later method of the swing utilities. Okay. So over here within this method we are creating a runnable object and the run method is been called. Within that run method we will be creating a new object of swing demo. So this is how we will create a GUI, or we will run that GUI by using that event dispatching thread. Okay, so let us execute this program and see in Eclipse. So swing demo, let us execute this. See, we have the swing demo here. Now if I run this program, see, here a new frame is created, JFrame, with this label, a simple swing application. Okay, this is the JFrame that is created, a simple swing application. Within that JFrame I have this label, swing means powerful GUI. If I press the close button, that swing should disappear. Okay, so this is how I create a simple swing application. Okay, and one main thing what you have to remember is the swing cannot run on the main thread. Okay, always in order to run a GUI or to run a swing, you need to create an event dispatching thread. So in order to create that event dispatching thread, we need to make use of this invoke letter under the swing utility class, and we need to create a runnable object. Okay, and within that run method over there we need to create an object of swing demo. Swing demo is this class. Okay, so this is how we will create a simple swing application. So let us move forward. Okay. Next topic is handling events. Okay, so every time the user types a character or pushes a mouse button, an event occurs. Okay, and whenever an event occurs, any object can be notified of that event. Okay, and all the objects has to implement the appropriate interface and be registered as an event listener on the appropriate event source. Okay, so all the objects that are notified of the event, they have to implement the appropriate interface and has to be registered as an event listener. So the object that has to be notified, it has to be registered as an event listener on the appropriate event source. Okay, so over here one more thing over here what you had to understand is there are two types of events. Okay, events are of two types, foreground event and background event. Okay, now foreground events they are basically created due to user interactions, whereas background events these are the ones that are not created by user interactions, and these are the events which we cannot see. For example, operating system interrupts or the hardware software failure, sorry, not hardware, software failure. So these are the background events, operating system interrupts, software failures, and these are not due to the user interactions, it is caused by the system. Okay, as well as we have an event handler. Okay, what is this event handler? Event handler is called to handle the events. Okay, and Java follows the delegation event model to handle the events. Okay, so Java uses delegation event model to handle the events. So in this how this delegation event model looks like. So in this delegation event model, basically there are two components. One is the event source and one more is the event listener. Okay, event source is the source of the event. Okay, it provides all the information about the occurred event. Okay, next we have this event listener. Event listener is also called as event handler. Okay, event handler is responsible for generating a response to that event. Okay, so it is the responsibility of generating a response to that event. It processes the event. Okay, for example, we'll have the action event listener, mouse listener, text listener. So those are the different types of event listeners. Okay, so that was about the Java event delegation model. Next, implementing an event handler. So to implement an event handler, there are three steps. Okay, first one is the event handler that implements a listener interface. So here my class is an event handler. Here my class is an event handler and it implements the action listener interface. Okay, so first we need to create an event handler that will implement the listener interface. Here my class is an event handler that will implement the action listener interface. Next, we need to register this event handler class as a listener. Okay, so registration of an instance of an event handler class as a listener. So in the first step, we have created an event handler. In the next step, we have to register the object of that event handler class as a listener. So component dot add action listener instance of my class. So my class is an event handler. Instance of my class or the object of my class, I need to register it as an event listener. So in order to register it as an event listener, comp.addActionListener method is used and you need to pass the object of the event handler. Okay, so this was the second step. The third step is code that implements the method in the listener interface. So next you need to have the methods in the listener interface that will handle the event. Okay, so here action performed method. Okay, action performed method of the action event listener interface is called to handle that event. Okay, so first we need to generate an event handler. Next we need to register the object of that event handler. Next we need to call the appropriate methods of that event handler to handle that event. Okay, so here the action performed method is called to handle that action event. Okay, so these are the three steps in implementing an event handler. Next, let us look at this small event example. Okay, here a public class button click example extends a JFrame and it implements a action listener. So it is going to implement a action listener interface. Okay, so here events can occur in this button click example and that will be handled by the action listener interface. Okay, now first here I will create a new button. Okay, I will create a new J button, that is B is the object representing that button, and the text on that button or the label of that button, if I have to say, will be click me. Okay, here you can see one button is created with the label click me. Okay, next I will call the constructor of button click example. Okay, so within the constructor of button click example, what I'm doing, so within the constructor of button click example, first I need to register that event listener, that event handler as a listener, right? So button click example is an event handler. See, this is the first step. I have created a new event handler. Next step, I have to register that event handler okay, as an event action listener. Okay, so first I have created this event handler. Next, using that object of that event handler, I have to register it as an event listener. So button object b dot add action listener on this object. That is the second step. I need to register the object of that event handler as a listener. Okay, next I'm going to set the layout as flow layout. Okay, for this layout I'm going to set it as flow layout. Next I'm going to add that button object, add b, also set to visible true. Okay, so I'm going to set the visibility to true. So first over here I have created a button object, click me. Okay, I have registered that event handler. I have set the layout. That button I have added it to the component. Okay, so here I have not created any frame, right? I have not created any frame. So here there is no frame created with any label. This is the default frame. Any explicit frame is not created with any label over here as in the previous example. Okay, and the visibility of the default frame will be true. Next, we have this action performed method, right? So this was the third step. We need to set the when an event occurs, okay, what action has to take place. That action you have to write it within the this thing, action performed method. Okay, so when that event occurs, what action should take place? That action you have to write it within the action performed method. This is step 3. So the action performed is b dot set background color to cyan. So when that button is pressed, okay, you need to set the background color to cyan. So this is the action performed. Okay, so in the main method over here, I'm creating an object of button click example. Okay, so here I'm creating a new button, click me. Okay, and the action performed on that button is it will set the background color to cyan. Okay, so let us look at this summary over here. First, it declares a class that implements a listener interface. Correct? Here I have declared a class which will implement the action listener interface. Next, it registers an instance of this class with the event source. So instance of this class is this. Okay, this is an object representing the button click example class. I'm going to register it as an event listener with the source. Okay, this is step 2. And finally defines the action to be taken when the event occurs. So what action should be taken when that event occurs, that is defined in the action performed method. So this is how you will be handling events. Next, let us look at the swing components. Already we have seen, we have told about the different swing components, right? So there are different types of swing components. A few of them are JButton, JList, JTable, JCheckbox, JRadio button, JText field, combo box, JScroll pan, JToggle button, JTree, JTabbed pan, JLabel. Okay, so we will be studying some of these swing components. First one is JLabel and image icon. So JLabel is used to create a label. Okay, so whenever you want to create any label in the frame, you can use it by you can do it by creating by using JLabel. JLabel can be used to display a text or an icon. So using this JLabel, you can display a text or also you can display an icon. It is a passive component. It does not respond to user input. Okay, see here, button over there. Button is not a passive component. Okay, so with the button user can interact, but this JLabel is a passive component. It does not respond to user interactions. Okay, that you have to understand. So in order to create a text or icon, we will use JLabel, and it is a passive component. It does not respond to the user input. So let us see the different JLabel constructors. We have 3 constructors. First one is JLabel, which takes an icon as a parameter. Next constructor will take a string as a parameter. Okay. The last constructor will take the string, icon and the alignment as a parameter. Okay, so let us see what are these parameters. String and icon are the text and icon used for the label. Okay, what string and icon you want to use. Okay, so that you have to specify with this icon and string. The align argument specifies the horizontal alignment of the text and or icon with the dimensions of the label. So what alignment you want, horizontal alignment, that you can specify by this align parameter. Okay, so it has different values: left, right, center, leading and trailing. So these are the different alignments that you can specify for the string or for the icon. Okay. Now these constants are defined in Swing constants interface along with several others used by the Swing classes. So all these constants are defined by the interface Swing constants along with the other constants. Next is image icon. Okay, some Swing components can be decorated with an icon that is a fixed size image. An icon, when I tell, it is a fixed size image. A Swing icon is an object that adheres to the icon interface. Swing provides a particular useful implementation of the icon interface, okay, that is image icon. So one useful implementation of that icon interface is this image icon. Image icon paints an icon from a GIF or a JPEG file image. So over here, image icon, if I want to display any images, okay, that I can display by using this image icon. Okay, and the file name over here is the file name of that image. Okay, so I can display any images I want by using this image icon. Let us see this image icon example. See here, first of all I need to import the package java x.swing.star. Okay, public class image icon example, it extends the JFrame. Okay, and inside the main method, first I will be creating a new frame. Okay, and the text on that or the label of that frame will be image icon example. Here can you see a frame is created? Okay, and the string on that frame is image icon example. Okay, next I'm creating a new image icon. Okay, that is icon, and smallfrog.jpg, this is the file of that image. Okay, so here I'm creating a new icon of type image icon. The file name of that icon is smallfrog.jpeg. I will be creating a button. Okay, and to that button I will be adding this icon. Okay, next I will add that button to the frame. Okay, and I will set the visibility to true. Okay, here basically first what you are doing, first you are created a new frame, that is image icon example. Next you have created a new icon, okay, from the file smallfrog.jpeg. That icon I will be adding it to the button. And finally this button I will add to the frame, and I will set the visibility of that frame to true. Okay, so this is here there is a button with the icon used as smallfrog.jpeg, that image file. Okay, next topic is JText field. Okay, JText field is an input area where the user can type the characters. So this JText field is a component which allows the user to type a characters. So it is derived from the JText component. It allows editing, displaying of a single line of text. So 3 of the JText fields constructors are shown here. That is JText field, it will take columns as a parameter, JText field string as well as columns as a parameter, and finally JText field which will just take string as a parameter. Here str is the string to be initially presented. So what string, if you want initially any string to be presented, that you can pass it in str. Columns is the number of columns in the text field. If no string is specified, the text field is initially empty. Right? So if you do not give any default string, if you want to be displayed in the text field, it has to be empty if there is no default string. If the number of columns is not specified, the text field is sized to fit the specified string. Okay, so if you do not specify any columns, then it will be sized to fit the specified string. Now let us look at this JTextField example, a simple example to create a text field. So please do not consider this is how we are doing it in applets. Okay, it has been commented out. Okay, so don't consider this one. It has been commented out. That is how we are doing it in applet they are showing. Okay. Here we are doing it using swings. So import java.awt.star, import java.awt.event, as well as import java x.swing.star. I will create a new class here, JTextFieldDemo, which will extend the JApplet class. Okay. And here I am going to create an object of type JTextField. Next, in that init method of that applet, I am creating a new thread. Okay, that is I am creating a event dispatching thread. Okay, as I told in swings, whenever you want to create a new GUI, you need to create an event dispatching thread. Okay, so we are creating an event dispatching thread. In the run method of that thread, I am going to call the make GUI method. Okay, make GUI method. Over here we have this make GUI method. In the GUI method over here, initially I will set the layout to flow layout. That is the default layout. I will set it to the flow layout. I will create an object of JTextField with 15 columns. Okay, so JTF is equal to new JTextField of 15. It will create a text field with 15 columns. Okay, next I will add that JTextField to the container. Okay, next JTF dot add action listener. Okay, new action listener. So I'm going to that text field, I'm going for the if there is for the event of that text field, I'm going to add the action listener, and the action performed method. Okay, what it will do is it will show status get text. Over here it will display the text that is entered on that text field. Okay, so it is better to run this program and show you. If you see here JTextFieldDemo, see here in this JTextFieldDemo, initially what did I do? Initially I have called the init method of the applet class. In that method I have created a event dispatchable thread. Okay, in order to run that GUI. In the run method of that thread I call the make GUI. Correct. Next we will go to the make GUI method. In the make GUI method I have set the layout to flow layout. Next that I have called the constructor of JTextField. Okay, 15 is passed as a parameter, that is a text field with 15 columns is created. After that I add that text field to the container. Okay, next I am registering that text field with the action listener. Correct. So I am registering it to the, I am going to add a new action listener, and in the action performed method of that listener I am going to display show status JTF.getText. So if you perform any action, in that case that text field, what text you have entered, that it should display. Okay, we will run this. See here. So this is the new GUI that is created. Over here I have created a text field with 15 columns. Okay. Now if I perform any action on this text field, here the getText method, JTF.getText method will display the text that I am going to enter through the keyboard. Suppose if I enter my name, so this is the action performed. Okay, that add action listener method over here will call the action performed method. Nothing but it will display the text that you enter in this text field. So JTF.text getText method. Okay, JTF is a text field object. .getText method will just display the characters that you are entering in the keyboard. Okay, so this was an example of creating a text field. Now let us, I want to show you all one more program over here that is for creating buttons. Okay, now look at this program over here. Here we'll start from the beginning. The name of this class is event demo. Okay, what this class will do is, first let me run this program. See here. So I have created a new frame over here, an event example. Okay, so the frame over here is an event example. First, inside this event demo class, I'm going to create a new frame. Okay, the label of that frame is an event example. Next, the set layout method, I will set the layout to flow layout. And that JFrame I will set to the size, okay, for that JFrame. Okay, and the default close operation for that frame is exit on close. That is, if I click on the close button, that frame should be disappeared. Okay, next over here I'm creating two J buttons. Okay, one is J button alpha and one more is J button beta. Okay, the name of J button alpha is alpha, the name of J button beta is beta. So I have created two buttons. Okay, next J button alpha I'm going to add action listener, and in that action performed method I'm going to set the text as alpha was pressed. That means here I'm going to add the action listener for J button alpha. Okay, so over here whenever I press that button or I perform anything with that button, it should display alpha was pressed. So here set text method will display alpha was pressed if you perform any actions with that J button alpha. Okay, similarly I'm going to add the action listener for beta. Okay, here J button beta dot add action listener, I'm going to call the action performed method. In that action performed method, it will set the text to beta was pressed. So if I perform any actions on that beta button, it will display the beta was pressed. Okay, and next over here both those J button alpha and J button beta I will be adding it to the frame. So JFrame dot add J button alpha and JFrame dot add J button beta will add both those buttons to the frame. Okay, and J label is equal to new J label, press a button. So this is the string that is displayed initially. Okay, initially you want to display a string called as press a button. Okay, and that J label also I will be adding it to the frame, and frame visibility I will set it to the true. So in the main method I will be creating a new event dispatching thread. In the run method of that thread I will call this event demo class. Correct, I will create an object of event demo class. So this is the event demo class. This is the event demo class. Now let us see the output over here. See, this is the frame that I have created, an event example. And I have created new buttons, two buttons, that is alpha and that is beta. Okay, initially the label that is created is press a button. Okay, now this alpha and beta have to have action listeners. That is, if I do any actions with that alpha button, it should display alpha was pressed. Now here if I click this alpha button, it should display alpha was pressed. As well as the same type of action listener I have included for beta button also. The beta button, if I perform any action on that beta button, it should display beta was pressed. So if I click on beta button, it should display beta was pressed. Okay, so this was a simple example showing the J button components. Okay. So that was about this video lecture. The remaining J components we will be seeing it in the next video lecture.